Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday to all my happy people. Um, I appreciate you all because I'm running late today and I've had a few messages asking me, "Hey, you okay? You feeling better?" I am feeling a little bit better. And I do apologize for being late. While you guys are hopping in, drop down the comments, say what's up so I know that you're here. If you're new to me, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm going to get LinkedIn pulled up so I can see my good folks' comments over there. Facebook, I see 3 people hopped on already. So drop down in there in the comments. Let me know. Let me know who you are. All right. LinkedIn is good. So last week, the past 2 weeks, I think, LinkedIn has really, really, really been messing up. So my people with me on LinkedIn have not been able to comment. So I apologize for that, even though it's not my fault. It's LinkedIn's fault, right? Let me fix this. So, LinkedIn, I got 6 people on LinkedIn. Right now, I got 4 on Facebook. Like I said, pop in the comments. Let me say hello back. Deja, good morning. I'm gonna touch base with you after this because I believe you either just took section 3 of the exam or you're about to take it. So I want to get an update. Ebony, how are you doing this morning? Been a little while. Good to see you here. Not been a little while since you've been here, but a little while since I've seen you on the internet streets. Miss Dorothy, good morning to you. All right, LinkedIn, if it's being weird, I will forgive you guys for not commenting yet. But let me see. All right. So, yes, LinkedIn. I'm going to have to talk to them in StreamYard because my people aren't pulling over. So far, I have Kiana on LinkedIn. She said this. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a comment she made yesterday. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get going, you guys, because I was late and I don't want to spend too much of your time not being resourceful to you. So, last week I talked about 2024 marketing strategies, and a lot of people reached back out and they were getting stuck on how to attract leads or a good marketing strategy. They're like, oh, I don't have a lot of connections. My social media presence, like I don't have a lot of content. How can I still get a consistent amount of leads each month? Well, I was trying to determine which one would be a better topic for me to tackle. And I said, right now, while we have so many networking events, we're getting ready for networking events at the beginning of the year. Let me go ahead and talk about referral marketing. All right. So that's why today we're going to talk about referral marketing for enrolled agents. For those of you that have not hopped on and said hello, I don't know if we know each other or not, so I'll introduce myself really quick. My name is Timolyn Bowens, and I am America's favorite EA. No shade to the rest of you all, but I'm also the owner of Bowens Tax Solutions, which is a virtual firm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and we specialize in helping taxpayers that owe $100,000 or more to the IRS, or if they are actively being levied or facing an audit. All right. So in August, I started this series of videos to help other enrolled agents out because I would have people that were interested in changing their profession or pursuing the license reach out and ask about my experience. And I said, instead of answering all these DMs separately, why don't I just start a video series based on the questions that I'm asked the most? And here we are. And as you can see, last week I was asked about different marketing strategies, and today we're talking about referral marketing. So, with that, if you've been rocking with me since August, you will see that some of these topics I've talked about before, but it's going to be very important today when it comes to building your referral network. So, if you haven't already on Facebook, just so other people get the notification too, if you would do me a favor and either like the video, give me a heart, and also share the video, that helps Facebook and LinkedIn know that I'm all right and okay to talk about enrolled agent stuff, right? But the first question I want to ask you guys today, after you do that, and thank you in advance for going ahead and doing that, who do you serve? Because this is what I see happen with a lot of enrolled agents. They say, okay, I do what you do. I help people that owe the IRS. Well, we know what that means in the tax world, kinda, because there's a broad spectrum of different levels how you can help people, right? But outside of the tax world, people need something more specific, all right? So, one of the things that I see people fear is they don't want to put themselves inside of a box so people only see them one way. So instead of saying, hey, I help this one person, they say, oh, I help a little bit of everybody. Or if you're still trying to figure it out, that's fine. But when you talk about who you serve, you need to be able to give concrete problems that you help solve. All right, let me give you an example. When I just told you, excuse me, when I just told you that I'm the owner of Bonus Tax Solutions, I gave you three very specific people that I help, right? I said taxpayers that owe over $100,000, people that are actively being levied or facing an audit. Now, can I help people that have a tax lien? Absolutely. But here, live on LinkedIn, here live on Facebook, if you hear me talk, you know for sure the three different people that I help within Bonus Tax Solutions. All right. So one thing that you have to do is be very clear on who you serve because then you're going to have to be able to tell that to your network. Your network can't refer people to you if they don't know what you do. All right. And Miss Dorothy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you up there like that. So the next thing, when we look at who you serve, who you help, we're going to look at how do you serve them. All right. So for me, because usually it piques someone's interest when they find out I help people that owe $100,000 or more, they're like, oh, wow, like, how do you do that? What does that look like? I tell them I get a payment arrangement set up for them where oftentimes they're not going to pay the full amount. Now, does that mean that I'm getting somebody who owes $100,000 an arrangement where they're going to only pay 10,000? Sometimes it does work that way, but not all of the time. And depending on the conversation I'm engaging in, if the person wants to know more, I can share that information with them, right? I can say, I've had people where they owed around 25,000 and at the end of the day they only ended up paying 4. And I've had people be like, "Oh, so you did the offer and compromise." No, actually I did a partial pay installment agreement. And they're like, "Well, what's that?" So, being conversational and letting them know, this is who I serve, this is how I serve them. So, what I'm going to do right now cuz I don't have too many people, if you ever been in any class with me in person, I walk around and I pick on people. And then even here online, though, I like to help people work through whatever process they're in. So if you were live over here on Facebook, let me know what is your niche? Who are you serving right now? And if you don't know, that's fine. Let me know that you don't know, but give me an idea of three different people that you like to help. All right. So you could like working with financial advisors. You could like working with realtors. You could like working with people trying to sell their home. Just let me know that down in the comments, all right? And people on Facebook, as you're hopping on, because I see the numbers going up a little bit, make sure you drop down the comments. Let me know who you are. Give the stream a heart, a like, and be sure to share it. LinkedIn, I did not know why you don't love me anymore. Oh, come on, guys. I promise you, I'm not going to pick on you. I'm going to actually help you. So nobody on here right now has a niche that they work with. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to use you as an example, but I'm going to help you figure out who your referral partners would be. Hey, Makiva. It's cold in Kentucky, so I hope it's not too cold up in New York. That's one of my tax sisters, you guys. Good morning, Letitia. Miss Dorothy, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you because that's a great niche to have. Letitia says real estate investors. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, thank you, Karina. I appreciate that. Thank you. Girl, and I don't like the cold. That's why when you all had your state EA conference, I was like, is it cold yet? Hey, Nora, how are you doing? I have not seen you, or I guess I should say I haven't talked to you in a while. I see your lives on Instagram. I hope all is well and all is going well with you. So, Miss Dorothy, I'm coming back, but I'm gonna start right here with Nora, okay? So Nora says nonprofit and nonprofit consultants, business owners. All right. So with that, she's told me that's who she serves. Now, Nora, while you're serving them, is that primarily in the tax and like traditional accounting sense, or are you also doing representation work for them as well? Let me know and let me catch up with some of these, all right? So Karina says, I'm still trying to love the idea of a title company. Listen, okay, let me tell you guys this. So I was talking to my community last week, so they get a deeper dive of what you guys get on here. And what I was telling them is when we're converting leads, we have to remember that you have to do the math, right? Everybody you reach out to isn't going to be a yes, but it's not a yes right now. And what do I mean by that? If you're reaching out to title companies, you want to make sure that you're still staying top of mind with them so you have consistent contact because depending on the size of the company, they may not have anybody to refer to you right now. Maybe the person at your contact isn't the person that sees those items as often. But I promise you, if you stay in constant contact with them, they will send you over referrals. But every title company is not going to send you referrals at the same time. Now, there have been times within my business where it's like, oh my goodness, like I'm getting all these referrals, but I know it's from the work that I already put in. So be consistent is what I would say, Karina. Make sure that you are still staying top of mind with them, but also make sure that you aren't only reaching out to one title company and being like, oh man, like this isn't really working. Because another thing with them, you can get off season referrals from a title company, but when the market's really popping, that's when you're going to get more. Just in case you guys don't know what I'm referring to. So, somebody that I reach out to for referral marketing is title companies. I reach out to title companies, mortgage loan officers, real estate brokers. And the reason being, let's take back my messaging from before. But the reason being is they know that I can help you speed up the close of a sale. What realtor is not going to have their ears perk up with that, right? The title company is usually the person or the entity that's going to discover that there is a tax lien because they're going to pull everything, right? When they pull that tax lien, typically they tell the person selling the house, hey, you have this tax lien, you need to go back to your tax person so they can take care of it. If the tax person they were using could take care of it already, it would probably already be done, right? So what I do is I put myself in a position to be like, hey, if you ever have a client whose sale can't go through because they have a tax lien from the IRS, I can help you get rid of that within 45 days. Sometimes it's less than that, right? During the pandemic, it was longer than that. But making that introduction, telling them who I serve, taxpayers that can't sell their home, right, because of a tax lien, how I do it, I get the tax lien removed, subordinated, whatever, within 45 days. And then I have to stay in constant contact. Now, what does that look like? That could be a blog. I could send them videos about tax liens, or the person who's going to be the administrator in that office that's pulling the tax liens, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and I'm going to connect with them. And for me, it's LinkedIn because I'm more active on LinkedIn. All right. I don't know what's going on over here with Meta. Meta doesn't like me. LinkedIn loves me. But I'm going to be active on LinkedIn because I've told them who I serve. I told them how I can add value to them as a title company. And then by making sure they see me every week, as soon as they get somebody that needs my help, I'm going to be the first person that they reach out to. All right. So let me go back up. Let me go back up. Thank you guys for giving me some engagement. My friend tax sister Caritza told me yesterday that she said, I don't have to turn on the camera to talk to myself, and I don't either. So I appreciate you guys talking with me today. So let me go back. So Nora says you do representation when needed. Okay, let me come back to that so I don't forget Miss Dorothy up here. So Miss Dorothy says, I like working with bookkeepers that don't do taxes. That is another niche for us that are doing representation that we usually forget about. I don't know why we have this whole mindset of this person has to fail in order for me to win. Within the accounting industry, I have been collaboration over competition before that even became popular. Because here's what we know that taxpayers don't. The tax law is so big and has so many different niches and specialties, not niches and specialties, the same thing, but niches and different places and areas for us to serve, that we don't all do the same thing. And even those of us that do the same thing, we do it different. We have different personalities. So if there's somebody who maybe they're not in New York, but they would vibe better with Makiva than me, I have no issue with reaching out to Makiva and being like, hey, girl, can you help this person? Maybe they don't vibe well with me. Maybe I just don't like them. And she'd be able to handle them with her New York personality. I don't know. But me shining the light on her isn't going to take any light off me, right? Yesterday, I was speaking with a real estate investor who needed tax planning. If you have less than 4 properties, I can help your other incomes a certain level. Real estate's not my thing. Tax planning for people making over a certain amount of money is not my thing. I was able to reach out to a tax sister and be like, "Hey, can you help this person?" Don't overlook the people right within the accounting industry, right beside you, who are not a threat to you. As a matter of fact, they need to be added to your Rolodex of resources, because here's the thing. When Miss Dorothy works with a bookkeeper that doesn't do tax, the bookkeeper wins because now they've been able to help their client that they don't do taxes with. So that process is streamlined. And now Miss Dorothy wins because she has a tax client or a representation client and she knows the books are clean. There is no need for all the competition that we have within the accounting industry. Now, don't get me wrong. There are definitely people that are scammers out here. Leave them alone. There are definitely people that are nasty, right? Leave them alone. But free up your own mind and mental space to realize that you have money sitting right within your network. They just don't know what you do. I get on here every Tuesday and give different tips for enrolled agents. And guess what? Never fails. Even yesterday, I had 2 people reach out and say, hey, do you offer any type of mentoring for EAs? Just because you said it once doesn't mean that everybody knows what you do. So let me look at the comments. I'm going to get back to my notes because I've gotten off a little bit. So let me go. Makiva says freezing. I'm already knowing. So Makiva loves reconstructing income and expenses. I love working with a mess. Oh my goodness. That, so yeah, I guess we still do that in representation. That sounds like bookkeeping cleanup, which I I stay away from. Angela, hey Angela, from Decatur, Georgia. I had to switch from LinkedIn to Facebook. Oh my goodness. Look, thank you for coming over here to Facebook. I appreciate that. They've been telling me that LinkedIn is being funky. Thank you to the 5 people still on LinkedIn. If you do have any comments, because I can't see them, they're not pulling up today, you can send me a message and I'll try to still pull that up and answer it here on the live stream. All right, so Angela says, so far, I have service based businesses. Cool. You get referrals from loan officers. Same. Good, good, good. Bankers are also good people to know because think about the two types of levies that happen. You're going to have, let me take you off, Angela. You're going to have either a wage garnishment, which is going to happen right through the employer through their paycheck, or it's going to be a bank levy. The first person that the taxpayer is going to call when they see money missing from their account is going to be the bank. So why would you not want the bank to know what you do? And it doesn't even have to be anything all serious like my name is Timlin Bowens. I help people who have money taken from their account. No, go into the bank, make sure they know who you are, make sure they know what your bank account is sitting there for. Laugh a kiki with them. But in all seriousness, they need to know what you do. And then, based on my strategy, again, find the people that you're connecting with within those networks and then add them to your social network. And the reason for that is I don't have a newsletter for referral partners. All right. The really good ones that are offline, I routinely reach out, just, hey, I want to check on you, see how you're doing. Because here's the thing with me, too. On LinkedIn, Facebook, in real life, yes, I need money. Yes, I have a family that needs to eat. I have a child that likes expensive things in Target, but all money is not good money. If you don't look like somebody I talk to in real life, then I'm probably not going to add you or accept your friend request. Actually, on Facebook, I haven't accepted friend requests in a couple of years, unless I just see it right away. Like I have hundreds of friend requests, but neither here nor there. Unless I would talk to you in real life, I'm not going to add you because that takes the burden of being fake away from me. So for the referral partners out on social media, I can reach out genuinely and be like, "Hey, how are you doing? How can I help you?" Because here's the other thing, because I keep getting off. Your network needs to know who you serve, how you serve them. And if you're like, I don't know who to add to get referrals from, I want you to think of it in this way. And these ladies have given us some really good ideas. We have the title company, like Karina mentioned. We have bookkeepers. So we have people right within the accounting industry that are scared to death to talk to the IRS themselves. So I get referrals now from CPAs that I went to school with. I get referrals from CPAs that I didn't go to school with, but they're networked with the CPAs I went to school with. So I've been able to expand my network and bring it all in because they don't want to talk to the IRS. That's amazing for me. So guess what? During tax season, when they're busy, I still want to stay top of mind on social media, but I can check in on them because I'm not doing the tax prep work to the same extent this year. I can check in and be like, hey, just wanted to make sure you're not dealing with any clients that have an IRS issue. Do you have anybody that owes and you don't think they can pay the bill? Because here's the thing, we all get busy during tax season. If you're doing tax prep at all, seeing that email doesn't feel like a bother because if they don't do tax representation work, they're still going to want their client to be able to get help. I've had CPAs send out an email blast for me saying, hey, if you're facing issues with the IRS right now, or you have a notice or whatever, this is my friend Timolyn. This is how she helps. And they sent that out. And guess whose phones start ringing? So again, right within the same industry, you have people that are not going to want to talk to the IRS. So for you, I want you to think about whose client base do you add value to, right? So, somebody I wasn't even thinking about, I have somebody within my network who is a small business banker. So they work with businesses that gross, wait a minute. Yeah, they gross. They work with businesses that gross between 1 million and 5 million a year. And we went to breakfast and we were talking, and I brought up the Corporate Transparency Act. Well, guess what? As a small business banker, they're some of the first people to get asked questions about anything to do with the Treasury Department, taxes, etc. So, even though I genuinely like this person, it's still a very powerful referral partner because when that podcast episode went out that I did for the Corporate Transparency Act, I was like, I need to send it to my small business bankers because am I going to be helping people with the beneficial owner information reporting? Nope. Am I going to help these folks know what their obligations are? Yes. But even though it's not going to lead to referrals for me to help with the boy, BOI, beneficial owner information reporting, I still sent that out to the bankers because it was a value add for them. Okay. Which in turn is going to be a value add for their clients. So, what you want to make sure that you do when you find out whose client base you add value to, when you were getting these people in your network, we have ABCs. All right. Before I share the ABCs, let me scroll a little bit. So Karina says, I had two cases fall into my lap from the title company, but they were one from Arizona and one from North Carolina, and I'm in Texas. Okay, Karina, so what's the issue with that? Why couldn't you help somebody in Arizona and why couldn't you help somebody in North Carolina? You're an EA. So you have the authority to represent taxpayers in any tax office in this country. You have the authority as an enrolled agent to represent taxpayers all over the world that have an IRS tax issue. So, with that being said, you are more than capable to help those people in Arizona and North Carolina. But I won't have you drop all your tea here. I'll touch base with you after the live. So Miss Dorothy said, I make a post in a bookkeeping group and got over 200 responses. That is awesome, Miss Dorothy. Angela said, you're welcome. It would not let me comment. Yeah, that's what they were telling me last week too. There's something about when you're live on LinkedIn right now, you can't actually comment. You have to go out of the live, comment, and then go back, and it's just too much of a hassle. And right now on LinkedIn, my numbers are going up. So I appreciate you guys that are still hanging with me on LinkedIn. Even though you can't comment, if you would give me a heart on the post, give me a like, repost it, share it, I would appreciate it. I've sent something in, or I'm sending something in to StreamYard and to LinkedIn um, to see what the issue is because they got to do something about that. All right. So once you figure out whose client base you add value to, let me give you an example. So let's say for me that I'm helping people with payroll issues. All right. So I'm doing payroll tax representation work. Who are some of the first people that I should reach out to as referral partners? I know there's a little bit of a lag, but I'm still only going to give you guys like 30 seconds. If I'm looking for more payroll work, I need to reach out to bookkeepers. And the reason I'm going to reach out to bookkeepers is because I already know they're working with small businesses, right? They're going to know if their client has any type of payroll issues. So, me having bookkeepers within my network, and one of the things that I ask them is, hey, do you also offer payroll? One, I'm still going to be able to add value there, even though I don't do bookkeeping or payroll, because I don't do bookkeeping or payroll. So, when I have people reach out to me, I'm able to refer them right back to those bookkeepers. Excuse me, which actually brings to mind I have some email introductions to make now. But in addition to that, I don't do bookkeeping. Haven't done bookkeeping for almost 5 years now. When I have a client come in and their books are a mess, I am not I'm not cleaning them. And they have to go have them professionally done so I have a clean balance sheet income statement. I'm able to refer that back to the bookkeeper, and whatever their fee is their fee. I appreciate them helping me. They don't owe me anything but clean books, right? So I can get my job done efficiently. So that's one area you want to look. Angela took my number two. You want to reach out to payroll companies. If you're on LinkedIn and you have that you're any type of accountant, they're probably reaching out to you. And yes, they're going to want you to hop on the phone and to ask you, like, who you serve because they want to help and they want you to use their product. But here's the thing, I let them know up front I do not do any payroll work, right? I don't want to be an affiliate. I don't even want to refer people to you all. But what I do is work with people with payroll tax problems. And here's a value add. Because I do that and they offer so many different compliance trainings, it'll be harder with somebody like a big ADP or a Gusto. But if we're looking at our smaller companies, I say, you know what? I don't do any payroll services. So as far as being an affiliate, referring anybody, I'm not interested in doing that. But I think I have a way that I can help you. What about if I do a workshop for your clients to, filter out who is having problems? Because one of the ways that payroll companies get new clients is when those clients get in payroll trouble, then they switch to a different company to make sure that everything is up to par, right? So I said, well, why don't you let me come in and do a workshop for you for people that are facing payroll problems right now. Like maybe they owe penalties and interest on their quarterly 941s. Maybe they just have a debt that they are trying to get arranged and they don't know how to fill out the different paperwork for the IRS. When you say this, you can hear it in the voice of the person on the phone. If you're on Zoom, you can see it in their eyes. That's a huge value add because that's something they have no expertise in. Now you get to come in to this payroll company's platform, give a presentation because their clients are already trusting them as experts. Anybody they bring in is automatically elevated to expert, right? So if I have a payroll company who's being trusted to keep these people compliant, being trusted to keep them out of trouble with the IRS, and then they bring me in as somebody that helps get you out of trouble if you're already there, their entire client base is already looking at me as an expert. And that not only is referral marketing, but it's also authority marketing because now I have this speaking spot on my resume. I'm posting this on LinkedIn like, hey, I went and spoke with this payroll company and these are the results of the different class I had. So now on LinkedIn, other people that may have been hesitant to work with me before, like, oh, she really knows what she's talking about and doing because a payroll company had her come in to talk about how to stay compliant with the IRS and how to get out of trouble with them. So she really must be doing something. But here's the other thing. Once you speak for one company, other companies start to reach out. They may not see the first time that you post, which is why I also encourage you. You need to stay consistent in posting on whatever platform you're using because that's the way that you're going to stay top of mind with those companies. So you may get to speak with multiple different payroll companies because you reached out and you were able to give a value add, which is going to bring on other payroll companies. Same thing with bookkeepers. Maybe you're partnered with a bookkeeper, they do not do any tax work, maybe they do payroll work. While you're talking to the bookkeeper, find out how many payroll clients do you have? How many small businesses are you serving right now? Well, I know you don't do the tax work, but do you mind or do you think it would be a good idea if I talked to your clients about the importance of having clean books so they don't end up having a tax bill next year? Why would the bookkeep now? I don't want you all to flood me. But think about it logically. If you're being genuine, why would the bookkeeper say no to you coming in and telling their clients that they need the bookkeeper so they don't become your client? But here's the other thing, birds of the same feather flock together. If you were here with this bookkeeper, they're going to tell their bookkeeper friends about this presentation that you came in and did for them. The business owners, because you're going to be nice and engaging, are going to enjoy the presentation. So now, even if those business owners don't have a tax problem, they don't need you right now. What you've done is you've made disciples. These disciples are going to go out and when they're in their different business, BNI, networking things, when people are talking about situations they're facing and dealing with, one being taxes in a small business, they're going to be like, oh, shoot, what's the name of that tax person that came and talked to our group? I got to go find it for you. She said that she helps taxpayers that owe $100,000 or more. So I'm sure she could help you, which, by the way, when you're doing marketing and you call out a specific person, don't say, Angela, let me take you down. I'm sorry. Don't say, I, this is my advice. Disclaimer. All right. Don't say, I help people that owe the IRS $10,000 or more and then be like, well, I don't know why I'm only getting people that owe $10,000 and less instead of 10,000 and more. It's because you've programmed your audience to see that as a number, and that's okay if that's who you want to work with. But by me raising it up to $100,000 or more, and yes, there's an intake form and there's a paid call. Typically, if it's somebody that owes less in that paid call, they're leading with a roadmap. I've told them what to do. If they don't want to work with me, that's fine. Best wishes to you. But at the 10,000 or the 100,000, I'm calling in the people that owe 100,000 or more. All the people that owe less than that are still going to come. All right. So when you're doing your marketing and you're telling people what you do, you're making posts on social media, don't only talk about your little fish. Maybe talk about your medium fish. Maybe talk about, sorry, my hand's disappearing. Talk about your big fish, right? Because all the people that are smaller are still going to come in. All right. So let me see. You guys are hanging with me, so I'm going to assume this is good. If this is good, give me a thumbs up in the comments. If not, I guess I'll see you guys later. So Angela says, "Thank you. I didn't think of it that way." Um, let me hit the ABCs real quick, and I'll let you guys go unless you have any questions. So when you're thinking about who to add to your network, I want you to be strategic. All right. All right. All right. All right. So listen, my name has been Timolin for 34 years. People have mispronounced my name my whole life until I became quote unquote internet famous, as my family likes to say. I want to say this is Shalana. If it is not, tell me phonetically how to say your name down in the comments because I'm used to being called Timberland or Timberland, but I don't want to say your name wrong, okay? So Shalana gives me the thumbs up. I think Shalana gives me the thumbs up. So we're good. Tisha gave me a thumbs up. Deja gave me 2 thumbs up. Cool, cool. Karina says, yes, I realized that when I moved my number up from 10K to 100K, people with 6 figures started reaching out. Absolutely. Because here's the thing. Let me use a different example. I know enough about cars to make sure that my car is still running. I get from point A to Z. It used to irritate me. Like when I was growing up, so I'm an only girl, only daughter. My mom's the only girl. So my dad wanted to make sure that I knew how to do certain things. So I can change my oil. All right. I can get up under that bad boy, move the plug, get on top, change the filter, all that. I can change my tire. I can air my tire. But if you follow me on social media, I don't even pump my own gas in the winter. okay? Because I don't like to be cold. I ride around so I can go find my husband till he's home. I pick him up, have him do it. I can change my oil. I haven't changed my oil since sometime in college. All right. Right now, I have a Lincoln MKC. There are people who specialize in working with Lincolns. Now, do I Google stuff because I love my car and I want to know everything about it? Absolutely. However, if there's an issue, I'm going to refer to an expert to tell me what to do. When we have business owners, they've done research about taxes, how to save money and things. But, Karina, you bring up a great point. When we have people who are having a tax issue, they have a bad problem and itch, they're referring to the expert to tell them what to do. So you had people who saw that you were saying the 10,000, but because they didn't have a $10,000 itch, they had a worse itch. They're looking at you as the expert telling them what to do, and you were saying reach out if you owe $10,000 more. And they're like, 10,000, 100 is not the same itch. So again, remember in your content, when you're talking to referral partners, you have to tell them what to do. I tell my referral partners, don't give my phone number to nobody. Send an email introduction. This is still my show. I'm still the one that runs it, right? They're going to have to fill out an intake form and do all that jazz. It's still a paid call. You have to tell your audience who you help and how you help. And the numbers that you put out there can put you in a box because it's a mindset shift, not only for the people looking at your content, but it's also a mindset shift for you. Shalana. All right. Well, Shalana, thank you so much for being on here with me today. I don't know if you've been on with me before, um, but thanks for commenting and let me know it was good. Let me get this back out. So when we look at the ABCs, you've already established by this point, I hope we gave you some ideas, who should be within your referral network. Okay. Um, oh, my bad, girl. So Shalana's been on here with me before. My bad, my bad. Um, for me right now, I have financial advisors. All right. I have bankruptcy attorneys and I have other attorneys as well, divorce attorneys. But here's the thing, and here's why. For me, and this can work for you too, if you have bankruptcy attorneys and you still do tax prep, in order for somebody to file for bankruptcy, they have to have all their taxes filed, right? So if somebody has other debt and tax debt, that just meshes well, right? But here's the other thing. I don't do bankruptcies. However, when I have somebody that has a lot of tax debt, they usually have other debt as well, and bankruptcy might be a good option for them. When I take them through the first phase of representation with me, I pull their transcripts and I do an analysis. One of the things I do is I look at the CSIDs. Okay, so when did they actually file this return? When's the last date the IRS can legally collect on it? Are there any liens attached? Whatever is eligible for bankruptcy, I let them know. Now, they may be like, well, I'm not really considering bankruptcy. I say, okay, that's cool. This is just my due diligence. So you know all of the options that you have for the different debt. All right. That's what I do for them in phase one. If they're like, I didn't consider that and we have all this other debt too, maybe we should look into bankruptcy. Do you know anybody? I have a list of bankruptcy attorneys that I can refer them to. But that doesn't happen all the time. But on the flip side of that, when I have bankruptcy attorneys that I've added to my network now, when they have clients who have tax debt that won't qualify to go into the bankruptcy because we have the 3 year, 2 year, 240-day rule, they call me first because they're like, hey, I'm trying to help them get all of this cleared out. We're going to file a chapter, whatever. Look, I'm not a bankruptcy attorney. I don't know all that stuff. They're going to file a chapter, whatever. Can you help them with the tax part when we get done? Absolutely. But this is what we did. And here's the ABC. For the bankruptcy attorney, I've added value because I'm sending them clients that I can't help, that I know that they can help. All right. So that right there is the first thing that you need to make sure that you do with anybody within your referral network. You need to add value. Now, is that value always going to be referring them clients? Not always. Now, I think if you do have people that you can refer to them, that's awesome, but it's not going to always be that way that you can add value. I work with somebody, he owns a company, Reliable Debt Solutions, and I felt so bad because for the longest time, I couldn't refer anybody. I was able to this year. But I was like, Junior, how can I help you? So what he did was a series online talking about different type of debt, and I spoke on his platform about getting rid of tax debt because that's something he doesn't do. So I was able to give him a value add by speaking on his platform. So there are different ways to skin the cat, right? There's not only one way to add value. It could be a presentation. It could be, like I said, with the banker, like I covered the Corporate Transparency Act on my podcast when it came out. I sent it to her because she already has clients asking her about it. Once it actually goes into effect in January, she's going to have more clients asking her about it. Because I send her information to help her do her job better, why would she not send me a client that's having tax issues? Right? So, add value to your referral network. Figure out what that looks like. All right. Is that being able to send them clients? Is that sending them an article that you did recently in the area that they work in, a podcast episode, a video? Two, you need to be able to build their trust. It's not a one and done. Uh, I meet you once, now you're going to send me all these clients. You need to establish some type of relationship and rapport. So if you're doing networking on social media, invite the person to the call. See if you even like them. That's the other thing. I appreciate folks that are like, oh, you're the expert. I'm going to send you folks. But again, I'm going to say birds of the same feather flock together. If I don't like this bookkeeper's attitude and she lets her clients talk to her any type of way and they all got a bad attitude too, I don't want any clients from her. Or if there's this tax preparer and I can see that they don't work in integrity, that they are the tax preparer that creates the fraudulent Schedule Cs and stuff to help reduce the tax liability, I don't want referrals from her either. Right? So tax season is not ideal, right? But you need to make sure that you're actually connecting with the people that you want to be on your referral network so you can see how they move, how they work, because we only have our name and reputation in this tax game. You being connected to the wrong person can completely ruin your reputation online. All right. And I wouldn't want that for any of you guys. So I missed this comment. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you online in a while either, but I hope all is well. Okay, I was frozen. But I hope everything's going well with you, Nicole. Deja says facts. Yeah, like all I have in these internet streets is my name. I hope you all would take up for me if somebody came talking smack and smearing it, but that's a chance that like I can't afford to take. So, yes, there have been speaking opportunities that I have turned down, right? In person and online because I don't want to be associated with certain things that people do that I know don't meet my standards as far as morals and integrity. All right. A, add value. B, build trust. And then number three, the C, you need to be consistent. And for me, like I said, because I know some people who send physical newsletters to their referral partners, they add everybody to a mailing list, or they send an online email newsletter. If they want to get my blog, they can subscribe to that, but I don't have an official newsletter that goes out. So for me, and again, because LinkedIn is my playground, I typically, these professional referrals, I go find them on LinkedIn because I know I can commit to being consistent on LinkedIn. So that way, they're going to see me and I can stay top of mind. They engage with my comment. Thank you so much for engaging. Hope all is well with you. Don't forget, if you have a client, customer facing that same issue, to connect the two of us. I appreciate you, right? It's all about being consistent because think about it. For those of you that have been following me, you guys know that I'm going to be here on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. Sometimes it's 11:03, sometimes 11:05, but I'm here on Tuesday, right? That's part of me being consistent. If I was just showing up all over the place and didn't let you all know, then not only am I not being consistent, but that trust also goes down, right? So the same thing for you all. You guys, what is your commitment to being consistent? Because I'll tell you what, you can meet people to add to your referral network on social media, but in marketing, as my mentor says, one is the loneliest number, right? So you want to make sure that social media, you don't let that make you have mood swings. So I was also telling my group last week, I did a webinar last Wednesday night walking people through the process of how to determine what a client qualifies for, whether it's offer and compromise, bankruptcy. But I put out a post, all right, advertising it, no engagement on it at all. However, I had somebody sign up for the webinar that is not on my email list, so I know they didn't get it from there. I didn't send them a DM, so they didn't get it from there. They saw the post, they read all of it, and then they signed up. There are people that see your post. There are people that are bookmarking it, putting it up here, what you do, but they may never give you any engagement. May I encourage you to still stay consistent, right? Just because it doesn't result in a call today doesn't mean it's not going to result in a call tomorrow. Because when they go to say, oh, shoot, there's Karina. Sorry, I'm picking on you, Karina. There's Karina. She helps with this problem. And then they go to look you up and they're like, well, shoot, she hasn't been active in 3 months. Maybe she's not doing this anymore. You don't want that to be the case for you, right? And I'll tell you another reason why I do LinkedIn. For me, if you Google my name to look me up or my company, LinkedIn pops up on the first page. They click on LinkedIn. I've had people tell me this. They'll click on LinkedIn and see that I'm talking about this stuff all the time. And it's like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. So, does my LinkedIn content get the initial sale? No, but it's that consistency that keeps me top of mind for my referral partners. And then when that prospect goes to look me up, they see that I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. Like you all remember, I didn't choose tax representation chose me. So let me see. Oh my goodness, I have a LinkedIn comment. So Kiana, thanks for joining. I know you might be tired right now. She said, excellent content, Timlin. Thanks for sharing. I got to head out now. I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on with me. Letitia said, this is all of my clients. And that's another thing, guys. If you do tax preparation, make sure your clients know what you do, right? Because especially within small business circles, they talk to each other. Business owners talk to each other. And it's like, what? Your accountant did that? Well, shoot, girl, like my accountant helped me write all this stuff off. Like they vibe, right? And they share information. Your client, even though they may be good and not have any tax issues, they need to know that you help with tax issues. Because guess what? Once you let them know, you just expanded your network and outreach of how many people it's possible for you to help, because that one business owner is going to have their family, their friends, and their clients as well. So when they are approached as a trusted resource, they're going to have you top of mind. It's like, oh, well, shoot, my tax professional helps with that. Do you want me to connect you with them? All right. Letitia says, I'm friends with most of my clients on Facebook. Who, child? Let me stop. I quit that a while ago. But for me, it was a boundaries thing. I had a tax prep client call me at like 6 in the morning one time on Facebook, and if you know anything about me, like I don't people before 10 a.m. It's very hard for me. So I was just like, the disrespect. But anyway, I'm glad that's not your testimony. Letitia says, I'm friends with most of my clients on Facebook, but they do like, comment, or share anything, but they send referrals my way. That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, yeah, keep that up. That is one way for tax clients to keep them top of mind as well. So they'll share everything because again, you're building disciples, right? Just because a person doesn't have a tax problem doesn't mean they shouldn't know what you do. You want everybody to know what you do because everybody knows somebody, right? 1 in 50 people have that tax problem. So that's amazing. Good job, Letitia. Karina says, yes, they do share info. They know people we don't. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, slight lag, folks on LinkedIn. I appreciate you guys. Let me check my inbox real quick because I have 18 messages. I just want to make sure that nobody was trying to send me something for this. All right, nobody was. I don't think. Charge my head, not my heart if I don't see it. Um, do you guys have any other questions? Because if you don't, I'm gonna hop off. Let me see. Deja says, "Yeah, people looking but not engaging. They inbox to me though and sending referrals. Hey, if they're sending the referrals, that's awesome. My Facebook page actually has a what do you call that symbol? I can't think, but no DMs because here's what happens, and especially during tax season, I don't know why people don't realize this. I have people send DMs all the time. I'm one person. I am human. I used to like Facebook just to blow off steam and and go laugh. Between my email, Facebook DMs and stuff, like I feel overwhelmed and I get anxiety. I don't check my Facebook DMs. So just I don't know, Deja, as you get bigger, you may want to direct them to like, hey, communicate with me some other way. But I'm glad they're sending you referrals as well. All right. Letitia says, thank you for your time. You all, thank you for hanging with me. Um, Before I go, because I haven't said it here in a while, you got good stuff here today, this Tuesday. You said it was good because you gave me a thumbs up, right? If you want weekly accountability, because here, I get your brain going, but I'm not really, on your back about anything. I do have the Tax Pros representation journey, and within that, it is a subscription based mentorship group. All right. So every Monday, there is a podcast that comes out that is a private podcast. We do sometimes talk about the same stuff I talk about on Wednesdays. Recently, like the past 2 weeks, has been the same thing, but prior to that, it has not been. So it takes a deeper dive, and that is where I do ask the harder questions and give you more prompts to make you think deeper, right? Then on Wednesdays, an article comes out, and with that article, there are implementation steps. All right. So for example, let's say we were talking about marketing strategy. If we're looking at marketing strategy on Wednesday in the article, I'm giving you the prompts like, okay, if one's the loneliest number, what 2 to 3 strategies are you going to actually commit to in 2024? And when you share those with me, I'm going to actually help keep you accountable to make sure that you're doing that. All right. In addition to that, we also have a community that's not here on Facebook, it's not on LinkedIn either, but where if you had aha moments, you can share those. If you have a notice that you need help with for a client, you can share that, any case support. And then within the community, you do have unlimited access to me there as well. If that is something that you are interested in joining, let me get my life together. I'm going to drop it in the comments here. LinkedIn, I know we're having our issues because when I drop it in here, it's not going to go over to LinkedIn. But if you're interested in joining that subscription, um, like I said, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. But in addition to that, I would also like to say this, it is subscription based, reiterating that because I don't know about you all, but I've been in situations with a coach where I have felt stuck. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It was good to see you too. We'll have to catch up later. But I've been in a situation where I didn't feel like I was being served anymore, and I didn't even know if the coach knew how to serve me more, right? But because we were in this year-long agreement and feeling stuck, like, I don't like this. That's part of why this is subscription based. So it's not like, oh, can I pay for a year in full? You can't because I like the flexibility and to give you the freedom of if this isn't working for you anymore, you can leave whenever you'd like. All right. And hopefully, I love everybody with the love of Jesus. But if there was some type of issue, we can come to a mutual understanding and I can actually ask you to leave as well. So, yes, it is a monthly subscription. Monday is the podcast, Wednesday is the article. Their implementation steps for everything so that I'm able to help hold you accountable to reach your goals. The link is in there right now for Facebook, but I think that is all I have for today. I'm going to drop it over here on LinkedIn. You guys have an amazing Tuesday, and I will see you next week.